Welcome to the Hardcore Closer Podcast. I'm Ryan Stewman, founder of HardcoreCloser.com, and this podcast is all about helping you, the salesperson, close more sales. And look, whether you're selling cars, homes, financial services, consulting, whatever it is that you sell, this podcast is dedicated to help you generate higher quality leads, increase your closing ratios, and show you how to charge premium fees for the items you sell so you can get paid what you're worth. What's up, Closer Nation? Welcome to episode number 93 of the Hardcore Closer Podcast. And get an amen, congregation. I am glad that you're here. Listen, if it's your first time, be sure to check out the previous episodes and do me a favor. Here's the biggest thing that I need. This is all I'm going to ask you to do on this show is go over to iTunes and leave me a review. Here's why. It's not because I'm trying to be the most popular podcast for any other reason than to reach as many people as possible so that I can help the sales community. And I feel like everybody in the world's in sales in one form or another. So it's my duty, my civic duty as a leader in the sales community, recently voted top 40 most influential person in the mortgage business, by the way, but as a leader to get the word out. And look, I have a goal of reaching 300 million salespeople. And that's not a small goal. That is a big ass, hairy, stinking goal, and I need your help. And one of the best ways that you can help me do that is by leaving me a review over on iTunes. So if you're listening to this on your podcast on iTunes or whatever the case, man, just like real quick, just leave me a review. Dude, you leave me a review and pitch your business. Like, I'll read your shit on the air. I do not give a fuck. I will hook you up, right? Just leave me a review. You leave me a 5-star review, and you don't even have to say shit about me. You can just pitch your business, and I'll still read it. I've proven that time and time again. Also, make sure you check out all the previous episodes. There's at least 92 on here as well. So here's a good review right here. A sales must, 5-star. You damn right. It's a sales must. You damn right. By Loan Finder MD. Now, that's kind of cool. Before I go for Loan Finder MD, it's almost like it's a loan finding doctor. Now that sounds interesting. It says Ryan is a real dude that will help you crush it. For all of the YouTube and podcasts. Oh, thanks for all the YouTube and podcast the YouTube videos and podcasts on how to market. Because of you, I'm crushing it. From Jason Fox, mortgage advisor in Frederick, Maryland. Oh, so it's MD, not like doctor. It was like as in Maryland. Gotcha. So Jason Fox, if you need a mortgage when you're in Maryland, state of Maryland, right? Like, he's the loan finder. He knows what's up. He's Loan Finder Maryland. Jason Fox, look him up. So before we get into the episode, thank you, Jason, by the way. Before we get into the episode, I want to talk to you about something that's really important, right? Because we've all heard, I mean, if you've been in sales for any amount of time, you've heard the term or the phrase, your network is your net worth. And one of the things about me is, like, I'm known, like, you know, in my small circles as the Rainmaker, right? I send a ton of referrals out. Somebody does a good job for me, I want to tell people about it. Lucky for me, I have a lot of people to tell these days, so it works out well for those that I send referrals to as well. Many people tell you I'm their top referring person. And the reason why I share that with you is because you want to surround yourself with rainmakers. You want to surround yourself with people who can give you business. But the way to surround yourself as rainmakers is to become a rainmaker yourself. When you see, like, the Native Americans doing their rain dances, like in the videos or movies or on YouTube or Vines or whatever the hell it is, right? When you see them doing their rain dance, the folks dancing are the rainmakers. Everybody else is out of the way. And so you want to align, rainmakers stick together, and you want to align with rainmakers. And you might say, well, what the hell is a rainmaker? A rainmaker is that person that sends referrals to everybody, that drums up the business, that has the network, that has the connections. If you were to think of Rainmaker, think of Ari Gold, right? Think of Russ Henneman, right? Those are like Class A rainmakers. Think of what's his name, man? Kind of, you know, the guy that's always Alec Baldwin and Glenn Ross, Ben Affleck and Boiler Room, Jordan Belfort and Wolf of Wall Street. Those are rainmakers. Well, you want to surround yourself with other rainmakers. Problem is, if you look at the old Native American videos, it's usually only 2 rainmakers dancing around and hundreds of other natives sitting there waiting for those 2 to make it rain. But what happened if you could get in a group where there was 1,000 rainmakers? What happens if 1,000 rainmakers dance together. Do you think that the skies might open the fuck up and flood the Grand Canyon, turn it into a river? Well, what if I told you I've already created a network of rainmakers just like you? If you listen to this show, you're a rainmaker. You know why? Because maybe right now you're not where you want to be in life, right? Maybe you're at that point. But it doesn't mean that you're not a rainmaker. You're going above and beyond. You're listening to this podcast. You're trying to get your shit together and improve your craft, even if it's not good right now. And I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters that are new to this and struggling, this is how you improve, listening to things like this. And I'm going to cover that today because we're going to talk about some of the reasons why you might suck at sales. That's actually the topic today. But back to being the rainmaker, I've created a group full of rainmakers, a group of people helping those on a level below them, networking with those on the same level with them, and being leveled up by the people on the level above them. Because I think there's 3 levels to true mastery and leadership. Helping those that aren't on your level, networking with those on your level, and being lifted up by those on the level above you. And that's exactly what I've created. We call it Break Free Academy Entourage. And basically it's our entourage. And we call it an entourage just because it's a group of people. You could say networking group, but that implies that we're a bunch of losers that don't have business, because that's what most networking groups are. And that's not the case. You know, we could say mastermind, but there's masterminds. There's plural people that are genius in here. It's not focused just around me. It's focused around this network. It's the $1 billion network. And so we're all friends and hang around and trade business with each other. And the good old boys club was not gender neutral enough, so we went with Entourage. Just kidding about the good old boys club, sort of. And I would like to invite you to seriously consider a few things, right? First, you need to join a network, and you need to get plugged in, whether it's Entourage or Entrepreneurs Organization or Genius Network or whatever it is out there. You need to get plugged in. I think that after all the masterminds that I've been through, all the networking events that I've been through, and all the networks I've been a part of, Entourage is by far the best. That's just my personal opinion. I am biased, but there's a damn good reason I'm biased. Second of all, I created a group of people who really care, who really want to help, and really want to network, and really want to surround themselves with like-minded people. Not a group where you show up and you have all the business and everybody's mooching off you, right? So I hated that about networking events and everything else. That's why we chose to do this one different. Now, last thing I'll tell you is being a part of an organization, networking group for your professional reasons is right now, until the new tax law. I don't know what the new tax law may bring, but right now it's absolutely tax deductible because this is a business expense. So even if you're a W-2 employee, you could join Entourage for an entire year right now for $2,500, and it is completely tax deductible. And so you have really nothing to lose. You're going to pay Uncle Sam, or you're going to pay your way into the ultimate membership, and not just the network. I mean, we got training on Facebook ads. We teach you how to build sales funnels, the ultimate follow-up strategies, the sales systems that we use in our business and some of the top producers use in their business. Like, we have all sorts of training and information and monthly newsletters we send out, and the list goes on. But the network, that's what's up. So get over to breakfreeacademy.com, breakfreeacademy.com/entourage. Join up, get in, and network with the best of them. All right, so let's jump into this week's episode, the top 5 reasons you suck at sales. Oh, man, what do you guess number 1 is, right? Like, if you've listened to this show, if this is your first time, it's all good. But if you've listened to this show before I say anything, what do you think what do you think it is? You are absolutely right. It's you talk too much. If you are having a problem with sales, it's because you talk too damn much. Have you ever seen the greatest sales movie ever? Is a movie that stars, a young salesman who's thrown into a situation where he had to become a leader, and he wasn't a natural born salesperson at all. He's thrown into this harsh situation. He consistently gets denied by the people he's prospecting. He breaks down, and there's a scene in this movie where the guy breaks down, and he's sitting inside a restaurant, and he's been bruised in the face, and he's been hit with a board, and he's been drugged through the mud, and his hair's all messed up, and the lady comes up, and she wants to take his order, and he says, "I'll have a shrimp cocktail." And she says the shrimp cocktails don't get served until 3 p.m. And he starts slamming his hands on the deal. And he's like, why? Why? He's like, tell me, Helen, why do I suck as a salesperson? Can you name that movie? Can you name it? I'm going to give you a second here. Some of you didn't realize this, but Tommy Boy is the greatest sales movie of all times. He goes on to have a breakthrough, goes into the next meeting and closes that appointment. And as we've seen in the movie, it unfolds. He closes a series of sales after that and ultimately rescues the town, beats up the bully, bangs the chick, owns the factory, gets the brake pads back to Callahan, the whole 9 yards, right? Greatest sales movie ever. Now, the reason why I share that with you is if you watch Tommy Boy before he talks to Helen in the restaurant, what happens is he's talking too damn much in these meetings. You know, in one of them, he's grabbing the fucking cars and banging them into each other and catching them on fire. And the other one, he's, you know, he keeps saying stuff. And there's one of my favorite quotes of all time is better to remain silent and people think you're a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. And Tommy Boy goes into these meetings a fool. Really, he had no training, and Richard's ultimately the one that's coaching him, but Richard's short on patience and not really the best mentor to have. He was a straight shooter, though, which is the best kind of mentor to have, and that's why Tommy had the breakthrough, I believe, in that movie. And yes, I am giving you a play-by-play breakdown of Tommy Boy, but you probably have never thought of it this way. It's actually a very brilliant sales movie. But so he has this mentor, and the mentor's not really helping him that much. And he's going in and he's just talking over and over and over, and he's talking himself out of sales. And Richard's trying to tell him this, but he's telling him in this smart ass way, and it doesn't come across until he has that breakthrough. Now you could be at that pivotal point in your sales career where you're in that restaurant ordering shrimp cocktail, asking Helen why you suck at sales too. And today's episode, I'm going to give you 5 reasons most people are struggling with sales. And I'm not saying you suck at sales. But if you're in a slump, if you do happen to suck at sales, if you're having a hard time, if you didn't know some of this stuff and it helps you close even more sales. So the headline, top 5 reasons you suck at sales is really, clickbait, eye catcher. It's like bold and aggressive and hardcore. Yeah. Right. But the thing is, I really want to help you. And I brought you here so that I could help you. And one of the things I want to help you with is if you talk too much in the sales, stop. People don't care about salespeople. People don't care necessarily about the product. What they care about, now pay close attention, what they care about is themselves and the problem that they are facing. And if your product that you sell happens to be the solution for that, then boom, when value exceeds price, you make a sale. There's no talking, no fancy shaking of hands, and you don't have to have all this like gift of gab and be a smooth talking jive. You don't have to have all that. Go in, takes 2 things to close a sale: empathy and confidence. You got to listen to them to get the empathy. And then once you know what their problem is, you got to have the confidence to say that your product can solve that. Number 2, you lack product knowledge. This is a huge problem. I made a video on this last week for Whiteboard Wednesday. It's a huge problem. A lot of people, now there's a lack of product knowledge, and then there's just complete bullshit. And I'll give you the difference. So a lack of product knowledge, right now I own a company called Integrity Driven Nutrition. It's great stuff. If you need some pre-workout, some powders, like dude, my chemist over there are some of the like mixologists, right? Some mixology for your health supplements. They're some of the most gangster where they're like fucking Breaking Bad over there. These dudes are fucking cooking up this shit in like these big, huge warehouses that's like making people get all pumped up out of their mind, lift a bunch of weights. We got a ton of people on Instagram pushing our stuff. It's really cool. Now, I don't know shit about mixing ingredients and protein and stuff like that. But I just did a pretty good job of convincing you that my stuff's good, which it is. It's 100% good. I don't have to know because I have the experts that know. But here's what I do know. If you lack product knowledge, it's one thing to lack product knowledge like me. I love my products. I take them. I know what they do for you. But, man, if you ask me what riboflavin or niacin or I don't even know that those things are even in them. But I don't know what the fuck they are. They're just words that I heard. a time or two. Himalayan pink salt. I don't know what the fuck any of that stuff is. But I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that I'm not going to bullshit you. You see, because here's what happens a lot of times is the prospect actually knows the answer to their questions. When I sold cars, there was a Ford Mustang Laguna Seca, and they wanted about $75,000 for this car. It was like one of 700 they made. And so this car was like cool and fast and everything else. And people would come over and they would want to buy the Laguna Seca, and they would say things like, yeah, man, what size engine does this have in it? I don't know shit about cars. I really don't. And I would say, you know what? I don't know. Let's pop the hood and take a look at it. Let me pull up this window sticker. You see, I lack of product knowledge is one thing, but being resourceful and being able to find the answers is another. I would just say, hey, you know what? I simply focus on the trucks, man, and this is a one-of-a-kind thing. Let's check it out. But see, had I gone over there and said, and just made shit up, oh, yeah, I got about 700 horsepower, and then the guy's like, it has 542, because he's already pre-educated. You see, most of you don't even know this, but you're being tested by the prospect at all times. And you're tested about your product knowledge, and what they're also doing is they're testing you to see if you're full of shit. They'll forgive you if you don't know the product, but you're resourceful enough to find their answers. They won't forgive you if they catch you in a lie bullshitting them. Okay? So I want you to, let me repeat that again. They will forgive you if you don't know about the product that much, but you can get them the answers. They won't forgive you if they catch you in a lie. Number 3, you don't follow up. If you're having a hard time closing sales, it's because you don't follow up. Look, I'm going to give you some of the most valuable. All right. If you're in the car, pull over because the shit's about to get real. I'm going to give you some of the most valuable sales information of 2017. Okay. You won't hear this from any other sales trainer out there. Nobody else is thinking this way. Nobody else is on top of it, forward thinking this way. I'm about to share with you some real shit. You ready for this? If you're really ready, share it on social media, right? Like, prove to me you're ready. I'm checking every day to see who shares. So I'm going to drop some of y'all like some gifts and shit. Share this on social media. So here's the thing. It takes 18 times on average. It used to be 8, and then it was 12, and now it's 18 times on average, 18 contacts, follow-ups before somebody decides to make a buying decision. Here's what I know. 97% of the people that become a lead today are not ready to buy today. But here's the disconnect. Salespeople get on the phone and they expect one-call closes. Well, here's what happens on a one-call close. We go over the top aggressive. I know. I do it as well. When I'm expecting a one-call close, we leave it all on the field. But I'm just bold enough to still follow up anyway. Most people aren't. Most people aren't bold enough to follow up after they've left it all on the field. Most people, like my buddy Ken Shamrock, he fought Tito Ortiz several times. Most people fight somebody one time, and that's it for them. And so most people won't go back to battle with that same person is what I'm saying. And as a salesperson, they'll go through this hardcore, very uncomfortable sales pitch and overly aggressive. And then the person, then they follow up, most likely won't answer their calls. And then they got nothing to really talk to them about. So here's what you need to do instead. This is why, and that reason right there is why most people don't follow up. But let me shift your mind, Smokey. Okay? Let me share some stuff that you won't hear from anybody else. If we know, now think about this just from a fucking logic standpoint. If we know that 97% of the people that become leads today are not ready to buy today, but they will buy because they're still a lead. They just may not be buying today. Only 3% of your leads are ready to buy right now. The rest of them, they need to think about it. They need to shop for it. They need to get approved for it. They need to find financing for it. They need to save for it. They need to get their credit fixed. They want to buy. They just got some hurdles they got to jump through first. And now here's the thing. If you know that the large majority of people are not going to buy on that first call, then you need to go into that first call selling the follow-up. Now, yes, you ask for the business. Yes, you handle their objections, but you sell the follow-up. You know that there's a 97% chance that they are not going to buy from you that day, and it might take up to 18 times or more a follow-up with them. So you need to set the expectations of follow-up into play from call number one. So instead of going in all hardcore on them and aggressively beating them into a corner to where they feel like a victim and they don't want to buy from you, you go in there giving. You go in there with the value first. You go in there as the trusted advisor, as the local expert, as the authority on the subject matter. And then what happens when you follow up? They've got follow-up questions for you. They look forward to you following up with them because at that point you've changed from a salesperson to a trusted advisor. Most people think of me as a coach, a mentor, whatever. I'm a fucking salesperson. But because of my follow-up, I'm also a trusted advisor. You can make that same shift. And here's the thing, when you go into that first meeting and that second meeting and that third meeting and that fourth meeting, whether it be through email, text message, phone, face-to-face, whatever, and you show up each time with more value for them, you're getting them that much closer to being a part of that 3%. But look, let me give you an example right now. I need to buy about $1.5 million home. I'm buying one in the next 8 months. And in Texas, that's a big home. Some of you out in California are like, damn, Stewman lives in the hood. In Texas, that's a very nice home, especially the part where I live at. And the reason why I share that with you is I'm definitely buying a house. Definitely, 100%. I'm credit approved. I've got the down payment money. I've got the house picked out. I've got the neighborhood picked out. Like, I am moving. I've got my house will sell hotter than anything in the neighborhood for top dollar. Like, I've got it. All the dominoes are in a row. Except for one thing, I can't buy today. I cannot, no matter what you wanted me to do, even if you came up with the perfect house. Well, I'm resourceful, but even if you came up with the perfect house, I can't move today. I'm not. It's because I haven't lived in my personal residence that I own now, the home that I live in. I haven't been there for 2 years, and I'll be there 2 years in June. In June, when those 2 years and 1 day goes by, I don't know about other states, but in the state of Texas, 2 years, 1 day goes by, then I don't have to pay capital gains on the taxes on the money from the profit of the sale of my home. So if I bought my home for $400,000 and I end up selling it for $650,000, I get to keep the other $250,000 tax free. Now, you need to check your local tax laws, all that. The reason why I share that is when I sell my home, that's exactly what will happen. I'll get $250,000, and that money will be the down payment on the $1 million home, right, or the large portion of it. That's the plan. So as much as I want this house, as much as I'm definitely buying this house, there's some other steps that have to take place first. So I'm in that 97%, even though I'm a red hot buyer. It's going to make some realtor and loan officer a shit ton of money, right? They're going to make a real estate agent's going to make $45,000 from selling me that house. You know, a loan officer is probably going to make $30,000 from selling me that house. So there's going to be somebody's going to make some huge commissions, but it's all going to be about follow up, because come June, when it's time to list my house, which will be another $30,000, right? $18,000, sorry. So we'll say we're just rounded up another $20,000. There's 40, 30, 70, 80, there's $90,000 up for grabs for having me as a client. And the person that I'm going to do business with when that time comes is going to be a client, right? Because if I'm going to bless somebody with that kind of money, obviously I'm going to make sure that I'm reciprocal to those who have invested in me. And B, it's going to be somebody who followed up with. Number 4, you don't prospect enough. Plain and simple. If you are playing on Facebook instead of prospecting, you are missing the point. If you're playing on Facebook instead of prospecting, you miss the point. If you're not spending at least 2 hours a day reaching out to new people, if you're not adding at least 5 people a day to your CRM, you're not prospecting enough. You think about that. If you're not at least getting 5 leads every day, whether you connected to somebody new on LinkedIn, you add them to your CRM, somebody new on Facebook, you add them to your CRM. And listen, if you're a salesperson and you're not using a CRM, that's one of the reasons you suck at sales. Like, the CRM is paramount importance. Every time that I have used a CRM system, I have been top producer. Every time that I have not used a CRM, I have still been top producer, but I have not made as much money. True story, square business. So adding at least 5 people to your CRM every day. If you're not adding at least 5 people, you are nowhere near prospecting enough. Some of you need to add 20 or 30 people, just depending on what it is that you sell and the frequency of it and all that good stuff. So Some of you need even more than that, but you should be making a minimum of 5 new contacts every day. If not, your network's going to dry up. You're going to be out of business. You're going to be that guy that's like, I used to work in sales. It's a tough racket. Number 5, last but not least, you feel entitled. Don't nobody owe you a fucking thing when it comes to sales. Now, I don't say this to be rude or overly aggressive, but you are not entitled to shit. I don't deserve to be where I'm at. You don't deserve to be where you're at. President Trump doesn't deserve to be where he's at. The Dalai Lama doesn't deserve to be where he's at. None of us deserve that. We have to earn that. And sales is no different. You are not entitled to a sale. You have to earn it. You have to earn they have to know you. You have to earn their familiarity. You have to earn their trust. And ultimately, you have to earn their business. Then on top of that, you have to earn the right to ask them for referrals. And so that's why that's part of the follow-up process. A lot of people think that the follow-up process ends once they buy. Hell, the best thing that I've ever learned, the easiest sale I've ever made is the second sale. After they bought something from me once, they'll usually buy something from me again, as long as I keep delivering good stuff to them. If you bought one car from me and it was easy, why wouldn't you come back and buy another? I know that I bought or leased an Infiniti for Lindsay, my operations manager. I leased for a company car. I leased her an Infiniti from Grubbs Infiniti out in Grapevine. And dude, like I will go back to them. Her car in 24 months. So we got about 12 months left on her lease. I'll go back and renew and get another one from them because it was easy. So, and I've already sent them 4 or 5 deals this year. And the sales guy that I work with is not even there anymore. And I still send them people. Probably people hearing this will be like, oh, wow, that's good to know about Grubbs. I got screwed over by a couple other ones. Grubbs took really good care of me. And same with Massey Cadillac. They took really good care of me when I got Amy her Escalade. We had a Porsche Cayenne, just a side story here. We had a Porsche Cayenne, and then we had a third child, so there was nowhere to put baby Colton. And I love that Cayenne, man. But we had to trade it for an Escalade, and Massey Cadillac took great care of us. They're over in the Garland area. And again, you know what? The sales guy that is actually the sales guy is actually in Breakthrough Academy Entourage. And then he's no longer working there, but we still get treated great from the sales guy and from Massey Cadillac, even though they're not one and the same anymore. So really cool. You know, that's not always the experience. But the reason why I say that is you're not entitled to their business. You earn it. And then the follow-up, you know, we're talking about number 3, it doesn't stop once the business is there. You know, the follow-up is, hey, when my Escalade's done, I'm going back and getting another one. Hey, I'm sending referrals. So your follow-up is to get them to buy more stuff from you, get them to send their friends to buy more stuff from you. It never ends, right? You have to go out there and earn all that. They don't owe you referrals because you did a good job. You have to keep earning them. And if you're one of the people that feels like, you know, they have to buy from you and you're entitled to the sale and they owe you because you showed them a car, because you took them on a test drive, they owe you the business, you will never be at the top of your game. You have to earn it. And if they leave you, it's as simple as 1 of 2 reasons: you didn't earn it, or they need to be followed up with 18 times. So real quick, let me give you a recap. Top 5 reasons you probably suck at sales. Number 1, you talk too much. 2 ears, 1 mouth, use them accordingly. Number 2, you lack product knowledge. Now listen, product knowledge is one thing, but the customer is testing you to see if you're full of shit or if you're resourceful. That's what really matters. Number 3, you don't follow up 18 times because only 3% of your market, 3% of your prospects are ready to buy it right now. The rest of them, they need to be pushed along the fence and kept going down the line until they get to the end and are on the other side of the fence. Number 4, you don't prospect enough. Listen, if you're not putting at least 5 new people into your CRM every day, you will be behind and you will never be number 1, at least 5 per day. And number 5, you feel entitled because, listen, the sale is not owed to you. You have to earn it. Now, here's the thing. You can be sure to go over to elevatortothetop.com and grab a free copy of my best-selling book, which is also titled Elevator to the Top. Listen, that book's like everything you need to know from the beginning of sales, first day on the job, all the way to retirement. Like I put it all together. There's no other book. I've read almost every sales book out there. There's no other book like this. This is like shit that you read one day and you go do. It's like people say this book changes the way that they do sales. My goal is for it to do the same for you. Get over to elevatortothetop.com hardcorecloser.com and get a free copy. So let's wrap this up. Make sure you get the show notes over at hardcorecloser.com. And don't forget to leave me a review on iTunes. Share this on social media and get your ass right back here next week. Deuces.